Today I'm going to show you how a pump sprayer can be used as a weapon of mass collection for gathering Atlantic razor clams. Shown here is my friend Paul Caruso, who first introduced me to this technique. Paul is loading up the pump sprayer with a solution of 3 2/3 cup of salt per gallon of water. This is the maximum amount of salt that can be dissolved into a gallon of boiling water. One of the keys to getting a good haul of razor clams is to harvest them on an astronomically low tide, which happens around the new and full moons. The first step is to locate some holes. Razor clams leave a rather large oblong hole in the bottom. We start out with about a half a cup of solution per hole, but sometimes you'll need to give them a second dose. We tried out a new trick on our last excursion. Paul would pump the holes and I would mark them with little flags. This prevented us from pumping the same hole twice, and it helped us locate the emerging clams. It can take anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes for a clam to pop up. Simply walk up to them and pull them out of their burrow. Usually they'll just stick their neck out, but sometimes they pop all the way out of the hole. Razor clams have a very large foot, which actually allows them to swim. When you fill their home up with salt, their instinct is to leave the hole and look for a new place to live. Before trying this, check your local regulations. Salting is illegal in some places, and size and bag limits vary. One might think that the salting procedure could have adverse effects on razor clams, but in 2019, an extensive study was conducted by Roger Williams University that proved otherwise. They found the practice causes very little harm to the clams and their environment. We ended up with about 100 clams between the two of us, which would result in several tasty meals. Razor clams are considered a delicacy by many. They aren't chewy at all. The texture is great. It's got a bit of a snap similar to that of a cooked shrimp. Next, I'll show you one of my favorite ways to prepare them. First, give them a good rinse under cold water to dislodge any sand or mud that might be sticking to their shells. Next, we're going to steam them for about 1 minute, which will make them a lot easier to shuck. Now transfer them to a colander and make sure you save that broth that's in the bottom of the pot. Now we're going to shuck them with a clam knife. Now it's time to clean them up. I like to trim off the tip of the siphon, and I also remove the bellies. I'm sure there's a chef out there somewhere that's screaming at me right now, who thinks the bellies are the best part. But as for me, I'm gonna pass. Now add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to a skillet and sprinkle in some red pepper flakes. Next, we toss in about 1.5 cups of sliced mushrooms and give it a good stir. When the mushrooms are almost done, toss in some garlic and about 2 tablespoons of butter and cook for another 2 minutes. Now add the sliced clams and hit it with some freshly ground black pepper. Reduce the heat to low and add about a half a cup of clam stock and a half a cup of light cream. Toss in some cooked pasta and give it a good stir. Serve it in a bowl and top it off with some grated Parmesan and a sprinkle of fresh tarragon. Now spoon some of that wonderful sauce over the top.